Hey, Father Miller here. Welcome back to the Nerd Father. So I just got done watching the first episode of Doctor Who FLUX, which is season 13 premiere, and I don't know. I really don't know what to think anymore. So as if you've been following me for a while, you know Doctor Who is one of my favorite TV shows, or at least it was one of my favorite TV shows up until about 2 years ago, when Jodie Whittaker took over. And actually, to be honest, for me, Capaldi's last season was boring. I really did not care for Capaldi's last season, um, for a variety of reasons. But I watched partway through last season and thought it was boring. It was preachy, woke, and I gotta thank my cartoonist friend for drawing the Dr. Woke logo. But I'm not really going to do a long review because there's not too much to say. I mean, it's just I watched it, but I was indifferent throughout the whole thing. I will say I thought I had the window prepared, and Snorted Poopus with the right comment, Jodie Wood-actor. So I found that the Steelbook is available in the UK, and they got that. Just hate the colors. So I will say John Bishop was not as bad. Again, I really don't know anything about John Bishop, but I liked his character. The chemistry between Yaz and the Doctor is really, really weird. And I got to catch a little bit of the Rabbi's stream before I went live, and as he made the observation, and it kind of looks like they have been intimate. Just the way they interacted with each other. But I can't wait for this season to be over. I want this rainbow garbage to go away. And I mean, it used to be for me, Colin Baker's coat hurt my eyes because it was so hideous. But they've been hyping up this rainbow, especially this last season. And I will not miss this. But this is on Amazon. It is dang. For a Blu-ray, it's going for £38. So in America, that's probably about 40 something. Wow. No interest whatsoever. So, let me see. I got a few pictures I can share. Well, actually, I think I could probably do this. Hold on. I'm going to be careful how I do this because I don't want to get copyright struck by the BBC. But it begins on this planet, and the Doctor and Yaz are upside down, being threatened or something. And really, actually, the first few seconds, it's just her cringy little command voice. Now, I will say that, like I said, I watched part of last season. I didn't have access to the first season of Jodie Whittaker, but when I did through HBO Max, it probably took me 3 tries to get through the first episode because it was just hideous. I mean, the idea of fam and all that stuff. This one I got through in one sitting. I kept looking at my watch throughout the whole thing, just hoping this thing would be done. And the idea of it, from what I've been reading, is it's one continuous story arc this season. So if you miss an episode, you're going to miss a lot. But they're basically bickering at each other. And somehow they get right side up. We'll do this without the sound, just to be safe. So they're flying, they see the TARDIS. They're falling, falling, and they land into bed together. Now, part of the reason I'm not surprised, or maybe this stuck out for me, I want to show this picture here. Okay, let's see. This was the Doctor Who magazine earlier this year, where it just is like Yaz and Jodie all together, lovey-dovey type stuff. So the fact that they land in bed together, um, after they land in bed together, they start to take off, find out what it meant that the Earth has a limited amount of time. Then it goes into the theme. Thankfully, they didn't butcher the theme any more than they did the last two seasons. It's still that like ink blot background with, I don't know. I mean, you could tell it's a Doctor Who theme, but it's just not as good. For a palate cleanser tonight, I think I might watch some Tom Baker. But then again, I might also watch the World Series. I think it's great that Atlanta is about ready to win the World Series. But let's see. The other thing that came up, let me see if I can bring this up with it. Hey, Dog Boy here. When they first showed the preview of Jodie staring at this character, it wasn't with the dog's face, but it kind of looked like Jodie was staring at Chewbacca. And John Bishop's character comes into contact with him at first. And again, I gotta say, John Bishop wasn't too bad, but he is the only male on the main and the crude, so of course, comic relief and all that stuff. And that, from what I've been told, he is a comic. But I mean, it looked like the dog was trying to do some Star Wars mind tricks. Let's see if we can find that part here. Okay, hold on. You got the big bad character that's being introduced. Let's see. Okay. Let me bring this up. Got Time Mechanic. Good to see you. We're not going to share the audio on this one because, again, I don't want to get copyright struck. Okay, here we go. I think. My VPN says I'm still connected to England. Really, the whole thing right now, I know that, again, with it being one long story arc, it's eventually going to make sense. It's going to eventually connect to everything, but it just is like going here, there, and everywhere. Because there was something that happened in Liverpool 1820, but it didn't really even make sense. Maybe it's the dialogue. I don't know. Maybe it's the accent. It might have been. But then after that, they jump 201 years later to today, where they introduce John Bishop. Yeah. So I don't know why this is not coming up. Bosco's coming through. Let's mark this time, 15:34. Let's try reloading. Okay. There we go. So this is him. Let's see. Yeah, so I mean, this is the first close up of the dog. And see, they're again, it's a little bit hard to explain without the sound, but there's kind of like the you will do this, and it appears that John isn't affected by that. So anyway, but the angels are in it, the Centaurians are in it. These two new characters, which don't know who they are, but supposedly one of them's known the Doctor for a long time. His sister kind of looked like Ziggy Stardust on Glitter, David Bowie's character. And it looks like Yaz is a different type of person. And yeah, I agree, Time Mechanic. Like I said, having watched a little bit of Gary and as watching Rabbi, I mean, I got through it, but it wasn't entertaining. I didn't feel the urge to turn it off like I did during Jodie's first season. She doesn't. I mean, she still comes off as cringe, and her voice is cringe, and maybe it's just because of the scripts she's done in the past. But yeah, that's about all I got. I mean, I really can't say too much. I'll watch it. It's confusing, ranging from not a disaster, almost mediocre. Yeah, I give it that. But the thing is, it's too late. I mean, he's had 2 seasons. The last 2 seasons were garbage. Destroying canon, Timeless Child stuff. It looks like Timeless Child's going to come back, or whatever it's going to be. I don't care. Ian the Mega Geek, who streams with me, said he's not even going to watch it. I don't blame him. So that's about it. I'm just going to wrap up. It's Halloween night here. It's getting to be. It's a little bit after 4 Central, and I'm not prepared for kids, mostly because in the Catholic Church, it would be the night of All Saints Vigil. But since All Saints Day falls on a Monday this year, it's not a holy day of obligation, which means I don't have to do masses at the 3 parishes. I just have to do the 1 mass tonight, so I have a night off. But because of that, I'm going to be home on Halloween, and I don't have candy or anything. So I'm just going to go upstairs, seclude myself, probably have a little bit of light on, and that's about it. And hopefully, night will go fast. Let's see. My theory, I may be cynical, is the BBC has somebody pulling the strings here, not Chibs. I like to think that. I mean, this did have a different feel than the last 2 seasons, but the problem is the damage has already been done and it's too late. I mean, it's frustrating. I would have been on pins and needles, excited to get home. I probably would have cut mass short if this was anybody else but Jodie. To be able to get home in time to be able to watch Doctor Who live, moving heaven and earth to be able to see that. I mean, that's kind of the attitude I used to have. I mean, when David Tennant took over, I mean, again, I'm grateful that in this country, after the first season with Chris Eccleston, I mean, it aired in England, then you had to wait the 6 months to air it over here on Sci-Fi Network. And then I think it was after the second season or the first season, I don't remember, but it was one of those that aired in the morning or aired in the afternoon. Well, okay, let me rephrase that. So in America, it would have aired in the evening in the UK and then aired about 6 hours later over here. And now it seems, because there's a lot of ways to be able to watch the BBC live in America, which I did, they're airing it at the same time live. And that's what they did with the 50th anniversary special back in 2013. They aired it like at 2:30 in the afternoon because it was evening time in England. And man, that 50th special was awesome. But this 60th special is not going to be good. I don't care for it. I mean, again, it's going to really depend on who the new Doctor is. So, as Time Mechanic says, the BBC knows this is make or break. They can't. Again, I think that's the damage is done. I mentioned in a stream I've done before, My last assignment, I taught high school, and I got to visit my old high school earlier this year. I got to see the seniors who I taught as eighth graders. I had two girls, again, eighth grade girls at the time that were diehard Doctor Who fans. I saw them for the first time in 4 years this year, and I asked them what they thought of Jodie, if they were still watching it. They like they hate it. They stopped watching Doctor Who. So anyway, yes, the third Doctor logo. So the guy who does the Nerdfather logo, I asked if he could throw together a Doctor Woke. I kind of gave him a mixture of a few logos. Kind of wanted to go with the Tom Baker era and John Petrie. Some of it was a little bit easier for him to do. It didn't take him too long to draw the thing. But, there are Dr. Woke logos on the internet, and I kind of wanted to get something a little bit different so it's not obvious that it was copied. So with that, I'm going to wrap up. I am hosting the Rabbi this week on my channel. I don't know what day yet because with the time change over there, the Sabbath starts earlier, and we're going to be gaining an hour soon ourselves. So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen yet this week. But thank you for joining me. I'm going to, like I said, I wasn't going to do a long stream just because there's really not too much to say, even though Az and Gary are still going on their channel. I'm just a one-man show here. So with that, God bless.